welcome back to the Wrong Advice Podcast. I'm your host, John Picciuto, and I'm very excited to have who has to be, without question, my best friend in the entire world, the best communicated friend I have, just an all-around 10 out of 10 human being, the one and only Miss Ashley Gatton. Ashley, my friend, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. This is like almost a year and a half in the making. We did our first episode a very, very long time ago. Completely different world. It was like almost 2 years ago, I think. It's very, very long time. But
Yeah.
I was very excited to get you on the podcast and catch up and see how life is and what's new and all that fun shit. So can you, for continuity purposes, give a quick introduction to the listeners on who you are again?
My name's Ashley. Right now I live in Los Angeles. I work for a denim clothing brand. Uh, I'm from Napa, California. I met John in New York when I lived there. I moved back from New York to LA, 2018, I think.
Holy shit.
I
Wow, it's been
know.
a
I
long
think,
time.
yeah. We met in like 15,
Has it been that
16?
long? Holy shit. Wow.
I get all my dates mixed up.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the
Yeah.
last 3 years have felt like 10 to 20.
No, really.
So,
It's
yeah,
been,
it's been wild. For the listeners who recall our first conversation, you and I met via Twitter,
yeah.
which is just where I meet all my favorite human beings on earth. And we turned a online friendship into a real life friendship, and the rest, as they say, has been history. I have always been amazed with you as a human being for being incredibly funny. For some reason, you love getting political on social media, which just makes me laugh because it's like in a lot of instances just shouting out into the void. But I can't believe we've been friends for like 7 years. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So what's been going on in your life? I know that you are currently wearing some new jewelry on your hand.
Oh,
What's going
yeah.
on there? Someone got engaged?
Yeah, I got engaged in August. So that's a big deal because when did so the last time we did this was it had to be 2020, right? It was
You
during
were
COVID.
single. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you were single. Well, I've been single the whole time um,
Yeah.
of our friendship. You've been in and out of the fun dating scene as I have been.
Yeah.
And one of the main reoccurring themes of our conversations are my disdain for dating and lack of love life. And you're always like, come on, John, like it's gonna be all right.
It's
And
gonna
I was like,
work.
you're so full of shit. But then you met your now fiance, which I think is very inspiring for me.
Yeah. Yeah, we met on, well, we don't have to talk about that because I think we talked about that the last time, but we met on Bumble, but
Incredible.
whatever. Yeah.
Gives hope for all of us, fantastic losers out there who are still. Actually, I just deleted all of the apps off my phone like 6, 7 days ago,
I
except for
know.
Raya. I kept Raya because I have to be on. It's got to be a part of my personality
That's,
to
I
be
never
honest.
was on, that's like the one where like, it's not like famous people, but like you have to be kind of like
It's a joke.
someone.
I am nobody. It is a joke. I mean, there's no question in my mind that they sort of package it as this exclusive place for celebrities or influencers or whatever. I'm neither of those things, and I think it's they advertise it as such so they get people to pay $20 a month. Which, yeah, I pay $20 a month to be on that shit, which is just so fucking dumb.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I've seen like maybe two celebrities that I've seen in movies, a small sample of Instagram influencers and such, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's not worth it. I mean, I've met some models that I've done some photo shoots with, which you can either be there for dating or here for friends, and I've met a lot of cool people through the app, which is I think I'm gearing it more as a networking tool versus say, I'm going to find the love of my life there, but I think it has some purpose.
Yeah. What do you
Yeah,
get with $20 a month just because like it's better people per se?
yeah, super
Oh my
better.
God. I didn't know that.
Imagine if you're like swiping on Riot and you see me and you're like, who the fuck is this kid? Go to my Instagram. I've got 261 followers. It's like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? It's, it is patently ridiculous. But in a lot of ways, it is a very funny little feather I wear in my hat, and I brag about to everyone.
Don't you have to be like someone has to like
I got
refer
to be
you
honest.
to join?
Yeah, and I have no idea how I got approved because
Yeah.
I didn't have any recommendations. I don't believe. I don't know who would have
Yeah.
vouched for me. You know, Ben Affleck wasn't on there. Like, oh, we got to let John on. He's a good guy. He's funny. He takes great pictures. But that didn't happen. Yeah, I don't know how that
Yeah.
happened. If
Yeah.
anybody from Raya ever listens to this podcast, I would love for them to reach out and be like, "You were approved because we love your podcast. We love your photography. We think you're going places, and we wanted to get you in on the ground floor." As I knock my microphone
Shout
off.
out Raya.
This episode of the Wrong Advice podcast is brought to you by Raya. So explain something to me. We've been friends for, let's call it like 8 years. Okay. We'll just round up and call it 8.
Yeah.
Do you think that you are a good friend?
No, listen, I think I know, no, I guess I am a good friend. I'm very supportive when I'm like
Yes.
communicating, but
Yeah.
um
I agree with that.
I don't know, like I feel like that all ties into like I mean, no, I think also just like when you text me, I've told you this a million times, like if I don't
Yeah.
answer it right then and there when I read it, I'm just not going to answer it. Um
Yeah.
but
I know people are like that. And I just like busting your balls because like it'll be 30 to 60. I would love to say minutes, but it's usually days when you respond. And it's like, oh my God, I swear I saw all these and responded in my head, but they just never made
yeah.
their way over to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So, talk to me a little bit about your ever growing TikTok account. I think I find it very funny because you spend time just like eviscerating fucking morons on the application, and I love that for you. But we've gone back and forth about sort of your love hate relationship with social media, and it seems to be like you're kind of enjoying yourself again back on it. And I'm wondering sort of like what changed, what mentally has changed that's sort of allowing you to have fun with it again.
Yeah, I was talking to my girlfriend who lives in San Diego about this because um the thing about like TikTok, which is like it's I mean I obviously love it more than Instagram and probably I mean really what other apps are there, but I was telling her because I was like I cannot like Instagram just gives me like I just don't like it. Like I can't even bring myself to post anything on it anymore. And I feel like it's because in my head, and I feel like it is like a fact that like people post on there to get likes, for attention, for validation, to oh, I got engaged, like brag
Yeah.
and that stuff. And like that just gives me an icky feeling. But TikTok, like you can post something and and no one will see it, or a million people will see it, or people that hate you will see it, or people that like love you will see it. So it's like you don't
Hmm.
really know when you post, and so it's kind of like, well, whatever happens happens. And then I was telling her because like I was like I feel like I can post on TikTok and say whatever I want to say because I know not a lot of people that I actually know in person follow me on there. Like I think maybe
Yeah.
like 10 people that I know in real life follow me on there. Um, and I feel like more comfortable like posting to like strangers than I do to like people I know, which is like
To be fair, though,
I
actually, like when you say strangers, you have, I think, near 20,000 followers. That's a lot of people seeing the shit that you do.
I know, and it's so weird. Like every day when I like go into it, like I'm like waiting for the day where I have like I lose like 5,000 followers because I feel like people are like, why am I following this like girl? Like she doesn't like offer anything. But
Yeah.
I know it's just weird. And now I'm making like $3 a day, which is like so funny. I
Wow.
want actually I should look. Yeah, it's like so but so like some days I like will catch myself and I'm like, okay, maybe I should like really try like because the stuff I post is just like sporadic. Like I don't plan it out or think about it or
Hmm.
anything. I'm like, maybe I should try to like actually do it with intention. And then like when I do that, no one sees it. I'm like, okay, so
I'm very
I don't
glad to
know.
hear you say this, to be honest, because like to when we first met, you had like a pretty decent sized Instagram account, I recall.
Yeah,
And that surprised me because we met on Twitter where you had like 6 people following you, and I was like one of
yeah,
them. And I was like, whoa, holy shit, this girl's got like 1 million Instagram followers. That's so cool. And you're like, I fucking hate it. Like, I get DMs by creepy dudes all the time. And then you deleted this like pretty big account. And to me, it was like very interesting just from like a contextual perspective that you like eschewed what could be like this influencer slash Instagram model, yoga person, whatever you want to call it,
yeah.
opportunity on Instagram and deleted it. But like now, a few years later, you're looking at like your TikTok account, thinking like, "Hey, maybe I can make some money off this." What do you think changed?
I think so I feel like, like the whole, I saw a TikTok about this actually talking about the Kardashians, how like the whole Instagram baddie persona is like kind of dying out and now it's more like being relatable and, you know, not using filters and just, and even like you can see celebrities trying to do that on TikTok, like
Yeah.
whatever. So I think that part of Instagram, like I still think Instagram is very curated, very planned, very filtered and edited and face-tuned, which like that I just cannot do anymore. Like
Well, yeah.
I'm like, why are we trying to look like it doesn't make any sense, really?
Yeah, it's
Um,
there's also that like double-edged sort of sort of it because like I feel no pressure to look or act a certain way on any of these applications because I have no beauty
yeah,
standards. I mean, as you can see,
yeah,
but there is that male sort of female duality that happens on these places, which sucks. It's like really unfortunate.
exactly. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
not for, yeah, it's different for men.
one of the big problems I
Um,
have from a social media perspective is that like I have to post on it for work, right? So like I have to go about making content around the thing that I do, which is photography, and I have to make fucking podcast videos because in order to grow, you need to have these 7 to 27-second clips that draw people in and want you to convert with their fucking whatever dumb shit they decide on a weekly basis. And it's frustrating for me
yeah,
because I'm like very much like an old school analytical, excuse me, analog kind of person where I want to just create the thing that I am creating. Like I'm a photographer, I'm not a videographer. I want to create
yeah,
images and I want to be able to put an image and at least half of my followers see it, right? But if I post a still photo on my Instagram account, like 61 people will see it. And that's just
yeah,
very demoralizing as a creative.
yeah, yeah. That too. Like, I think that's also, I mean, that is why people grow on TikTok like crazy because it just goes into like the abyss of humanity where like Instagram is definitely, not everyone will see your stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
I have a fun time on TikTok, and I always text you and laugh at the stuff that you make because like it is extremely relatable content, and a lot of ways I wonder if it's like because you're maybe feeling more comfortable to who you are as a person, like coming through all that has happened over the last few years, getting engaged, like being confident and comfortable in a relationship and a job and the person who you are, like maybe it allows you to be like, hey, like anyone could do this shit, anyone can go to the gym and kick ass and go for walks and fucking just be normal.
yeah, no, that's what I was just thinking. Like, Um, I feel like back in the day when like Instagram was a big deal and like I had followers and like I cared about it, I know at that time in my life I was not that happy in general. Like, I complained about everything. I hated my job. I hated like New York. I hated everything. And I would post more and more and more and more. It was whether it be like me complaining or not, but like I'd post a selfie just because I was like, I need some positive feedback on my
Validation, yeah.
life and how I'm doing. Like I go to the gym all the time, but like no one's telling me I look good. So like let me post about it. And now I'm like, I'm so just like content with everything where it's like, even like when I post a TikTok and no one sees it, I like don't care because like who cares? Where like back then I would, if I got like 10 likes on Instagram, I would have deleted it because that's embarrassing. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
when you're like, I feel like when you're like the most happy and the most secure in your life is when you don't think of like the outside stuff that you would, validation that you would get from social media, like versus like
I
now where
love
like,
I love
you
that.
know?
Yeah, I think I was having a conversation with a really inspirational figure in my life, a photographer who I've been lucky enough to become friends with over the last couple of years. And I've recently gotten to a point in my photography where I'm incredibly comfortable with what I'm creating, and creatively, I know what I want to do. A couple of years ago, I didn't have that sort of mentality. And
Yep.
I think it comes with age, right? Like, I think
Yeah.
because I've reached a point where I'm now a decrepit old 37-year-old man, I have that comfort where I don't really give a fuck. Like, I'm making stuff for me. Unless it's like a client project who's requiring a certain something, I feel good about what I'm doing and I feel confident in what I'm creating. And that's a big departure from where I was a few years ago.
Exactly. Exactly. And it can go, I mean, that can even go with dating for you. Like, it's not like, I feel like now you're just like, if it happens, it happens. If she is there, she is, as opposed to like putting all this pressure on yourself because, like, you're like,
Yeah.
well, I'm
No,
happy in with my life.
yeah, it's funny. So I've gone through, I would say, in the last, I don't know, maybe year or so, I've had two situationships which kind of threw me for a loop. And in both
Yeah.
situationships, I was told by this person that, oh my God, they're so lucky to have met me. And the dating scene sucks so bad. And they're just so happy that they met someone that like they match up with so well. And we had great chemistry and we had fun and we talked about life and death and like fate and like all this stuff. And like all these situationships fizzled out like after a month or two, like nothing like crazy amount of time. But I'm proud of myself because in both of those instances, I was very much like, okay, that's cool. This is not going to work out.
Yeah.
Bye. Like I have
Yeah.
no lingering doubts or struggles with like why was this not my person or what. I've lived enough, I've dated enough. I know that
Hmm.
like when it's right, it's going to be right, and when
Hmm.
it's not me. It's them, and
Hmm.
that's not like a negative
Hmm.
thing. Like don't get me
Hmm.
wrong, these were genuinely good people, but like just because we're not compatible relationally doesn't mean that they're bad, right? Like it just means they're not right for
Right.
me. Like, that's okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like if that's, yeah, you have to just, and like, I think that way about like jobs too, like, especially like during the whole COVID thing and everyone getting laid off, like, it sucks like losing your job or, all that stuff, but like, it's like, yeah, it comes with age. Like, you become like, you're like, well, that job just wasn't for me and something better is coming in. I know it's like so cliche, but like, it is true though. Cause like,
It, it's amazing how many cliches in life are that way because they're true, right? Like
right?
everything happens for a reason. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a cliche, but it's also true, right? If something doesn't fall
Right.
apart for you in some instance in your life, it can't make way for something else to happen. And
Yeah.
like, okay, so it's cliche, it's bullshit, whatever. But at the same time, to a lot of degree, they end up being like a like actual real thing that is a benefit versus oh everything
Hmm.
happens for a reason and then my life sucks. But it's like I think a lot of times when we go through any sort of negatives, breakups, job loss, whatever, it leads us and opens us up to a path in our future that maybe we didn't see coming
It
at the
does.
beginning.
It does.
How are
Yeah.
you doing in your work life balance currently?
So like I'm remote, which I absolutely love because I mean, I could never ever like as well, I think I probably told this, but like commuting in LA to work is just
The
I
worst.
mean, yeah, like I can't even fathom like trying to be in my car for like 2 hours, 4 hours a day, whatever. Um, the only downfall is I feel like it's a little secluded, like I mean, I'm just like working 8 hours a day here by myself. And then,
Does your
I
fiance
go to
not
make
work from home?
dinner. He works from home Mondays and Fridays. So he goes into the office Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But no, I love it. I love my job. I love the company. Um, I was like having also what I was thinking about this last night because I was thinking about this. Like when I feel like when I was in my 20s, I was always like felt like I need to be doing, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I feel like I would always say that to you. Like, what am I doing? Like, what? I'm just gonna like work until like I retire and then I'm gonna travel the world or like,
Yeah.
and now I'm like, I was thinking last night, I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I just gonna like work at this company till I die and then that's my life? Like, because, or should I use my PTO or whatever? But now, but like, well, I do think that because I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm like, my personal life is so like not filled with drama or like anything where like I'm just like, I really am happy like spending Friday nights inside watching a movie and like that's fine. Like that's enough for me. Like I don't need this. And I feel like it has to do with social media because like I no longer compare well, Instagram's like a highlight reel. Like everyone, posts the best part of their day and like the best part of their life and not the shitty stuff. But and you're like, God, they're doing so much more than me, or she's younger than me and she's doing so much more than me, or she's married with kids and I just whatever. And now I'm like, no, because that's their life and this is my life. And like, I don't need to compare myself to them. It's not like a race, it's not a competition. Like, there's enough in this world for like everyone to go around. Like, we don't need to like struggle like that. And I feel like at this job, like, I remember at my other jobs where, if someone got a promotion, I'd be like, why did they get it? And like, why did I not get it? Like, I know I do more than them. When like, who knows if that's true, but like you think that. And now, like when that happens and I see someone gets a promotion or someone something, I'm like, hell yeah, like you deserve that. And that you getting that does not affect me from like not getting that. Like your
Yeah.
success does not like deter my success. And
Mhm.
that definitely comes with age, but like it's really helped like at this job because like I do not hate work and I do not hate my boss or the company or anything. Like
Yeah.
I
You said,
truly like
you said
it.
you said a couple things that I think are super important. I recently had a conversation with a friend of mine's friend who reached out to me. They're 24 years old and they hate their job that they're doing. And they are like, how do I get into photography? Like, how do I get a creative career? Like, asking me for my advice. And it's funny because I'm a big proponent of do as I say, but not as I do. Like I've learned all of my lessons in life through very stupid mistakes on my part. But
Yeah.
to a lot of degrees, all of those fuck ups inevitably led me to being in the best position I've ever been in my entire life. Like I couldn't on the happiness scale, I'm at 100. On the, fulfillment scale, I'm on 100. Like everything on my life is perfect right now. And what I told them, I was like, listen, you may only be 24 years old and you may look at people around you who are starring in movies at 22 years old or directing or touring the world musically or shooting the covers of magazines and stuff, and it's very easy to look at what other people are doing and being like, holy shit, I'm falling so far behind. And that's easy.
Yeah.
That's a very easy thing to do because you see what other people are doing and immediately you judge yourself against it. What I told them was it's very very hard to do this. But if you look at what other people are doing and rather than taking that as some sort of a negative against yourself and use it as a motivational tool and or some level of inspiration, you can look at, hey, my overnight success is not happening today, but in a year from now or 2 years from now or 5 years from now, I'm going to be doing the thing that I want to do. And I think, like
Yeah.
you said, when you look at Instagram and social media and there's this bombardment of highlight reel material for people, we're seeing what other people are doing more often. So because of that, we
Yeah.
constantly think what we're doing is not enough, and that's not true, right? It's
Yeah.
just a fallacy of having the access to the information. It's just
Yeah.
there's not a million people who are making $100 million a year. There's not a million people
Yeah.
directing movies. There's not a million people shooting the covers of magazines. It's a small number of people. So just because you're not doing it yet doesn't mean you won't.
Yeah. No, that is true though, because like you may see like 10, 20-year-old girls on Instagram with 1 million followers making $1 million a year, but you're like, that's this tiny bit of percentage of that age group or of women or of that. Like, but it gets bigger in our minds because that's all we see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what the
no,
algorithm
you're
does. It
right.
tricks you into thinking that you're
It
inadequate. It
tricks
tricks
you.
you into thinking that you're not doing enough, right? If you keep seeing the same thing over and over again because of how you interact with something, it's going to make you feel inadequate. And to
Yeah,
a lot of ways that causes so much of the mental health problems that we have in this country because we have this thing which we are giving its power over us to try to like, you know, steer our life in a way that we think is maybe more important than what is actually important. I say all the
Yeah.
time, the pandemic was the best thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. Think about how crazy that is. I lost my job. I damn near went broke. Everything that could possibly have gone wrong in my life happened from 2020 to like 2021, like fucking shit show after shit show after shit show. But here I am, like sitting there 2 years later or 3 full years later, and I have everything I could hope for and want or more. Like, I'm so fulfilled. It's
Yeah.
great. But it's like those
Yeah.
things don't happen overnight. I'm still nowhere near where I want to be in my career or my personal life or any of that. But when you have negative events in your life, it puts into focus what is truly important, like the health of you and your family, the health and happiness of the friends and people in your life, and not how much money you make or not, how many Instagram followers you have or TikTok followers, things that don't actually matter.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I do think the pandemic was the best and worst thing that ever happened to the world. But um yeah, and also like I, I don't know if I mean I'm sure it was COVID that made us all kind of reevaluate everything. I mean, you can just look at it just the in the corporate world, how like everyone is remote now. Like, 10 years ago that wouldn't have ever been a thing. But like I feel like as you get older, you also realize like, not the way like life works is it's not like you have to be engaged, get married, have kids, and like
Hmm.
that's the only way to like live life. Like you don't have to get married or have kids. And I feel like when I moved to LA, I was like, if I meet someone, I meet someone. If I don't, I don't. And then like I did by like accident, not like putting all this pressure on myself. Where in New York, I was like, I need to meet someone now because I'm 25 and I need to get married by the time I'm 30 because I need to have kids by the time I'm 35. And now I'm 34 and I'm like, I just got engaged. If we have kids, we have kids. If we buy a house, we buy a house. If, like, because life doesn't have to just go this way. Like, not everyone's life is the same, but like on social media and Instagram, like, you see just the most sorry, but basic way of life. Like you see everyone get married and have kids and have this big wedding and then buy a house and then go on these vacation where there's like a million other ways to live life that don't involve any of that. That like,
Yeah.
but when you
You know, I
compare yourself to that,
Yeah, I think the thing
I
that
think,
sucks most about like social media and what you said, like I wish I knew that of course I knew I could have been a photographer like in high school and college. Of course I
yeah,
knew that was a possible vocation for me, but I was never
yeah,
exposed to it in a way that would have like highlighted the fact that holy shit, this is something I love. And I think what
yeah,
happens is you get on the merry-go-round the second you go freshman year of high school, right? You get on the merry-go-round and that thing starts spinning. And as you go year by year, it gets faster and faster and it gets extremely hard to hop off that merry-go-round. And it's
yeah,
difficult for you to look at what's going on and try to something else when you're fucking spinning around in circles just trying to catch up and do whatever everybody else is doing. It's like the
yeah,
rat race is called the rat race for a reason. Like we're all chasing after something that we never once stopped to think about. Like, is this going to even remotely make me happy?
yeah. And that's a huge problem, I think, where like we make 17-year-olds decide what they want to major in and what college they want to go to. And like the choices that we have or that we think we have at that age, and even our parents think we have, it's like you either are a doctor, a lawyer, a this or that. It's like only that. And it's like now, but yeah, like that, I feel like that goes to say, like with photography and like more like artistic types of careers, you are not told that as a kid that like that you can be successful, you can make a lot of money taking pictures. Like if you like it's like when I'm trying to think what I would tell my mom like what I wanted to be. But like
What do you want to be?
yeah,
Because
those
I think at
I feel
times you struggle with that a little bit because you're like, I love my job, but am I going to be here forever?
so I was like thinking about this because um I majored in fashion design and I remember when I chose to do that, like one I was like seven what however old we are. I chose it because I was like I literally thought I like clothes, I want to make clothes, and my mom's like do it, like you can do
Yeah.
it. And then like while in college I was like what am I doing, like I like clothes but like I don't want to sew, I can't draw, but like I can learn how to do all that. And I went through the motions of it. And then I graduated and I was like, a fashion designer is like not just like on indeed.com. Like people aren't just like applying to be fashion designers. Like that is like it's a small little box that like of a career that like a lot of people want to do and a lot of more people that are way more talented than me can do. But in my head I'm like, well, that's what I majored in, so like that's what I have to do. And then but I felt like in school and like when I got in school they teach you like if you want to be a fashion design like if you want to be a fashion designer that's that's all you can be. But like they don't teach you like you can be a fabric person. Like there's different areas like in the real world that like actually are jobs that like in college like you're not really told. And then like I would interview at like fashion companies and I'm like, "Oh, there's like a million other jobs like within the realm of like fashion design that I could, but like I didn't have the, degree to like be a denim buyer or like a planner or like all these other things." And now I'm like actually doing stuff that's like kind of like in like the fashion world, but like it's not like a fashion designer, but like I wish parents and kids knew that like all these like artistic, I'm not answering your question. You said what do I want to do? But like
No, you're getting
all
there.
these artistic jobs are like they're real jobs. Like being like my one friend in New York, she I think I've told you about her before because she's like a stylist. She's a stylist, but like also like does modeling and stuff. But she's like a stylist, and like I remember when I first met her, she was like trying to be a stylist, and like I'm like, how the hell do you do that? Like, how do you become a stylist? And like, one, you don't get paid jack shit for like years and years and years. Also, you're basically just like someone's slave. And like, but the people that are like the major stylists, like a Kim Kardashian stylist, are making so much money, their job's so much fun. And it's because like they believe that like being a stylist is a real job and it's a real career and they can make it a whole business. And like when you're in college, I feel like you're not taught that. Like that's just like comes with like
Yeah.
life and like
You know what they
you
do? They
know
don't teach like the ability to have any sort of entrepreneurial spirit in college.
yeah,
They teach you you can
yeah,
go be an accountant and a finance person and a teacher and a doctor and a nurse and a whatever. You can be these 25 things, but they don't teach you to
yeah,
like go about life and trying to figure out what it is that you actually want to do, which is what like I listen, I had the best 4 years of my life in college. I've made some lifelong friends there. I didn't learn fucking shit in college. Literally not a fucking thing.
literally. I
Maybe absorb some history stuff, a couple econ classes here or there. Very little was learned in those 4 years. I got drunk a lot. I partied a lot. I went to a lot of sporting events. I had a great fucking time. Was that great time worth the $100,000 that I spent being there? No fucking way. If when I graduated high school, my parents were like, "Hey, we can go get these loans for you to go to college for 4 years, and you're gonna party and have fun and meet friends, or we can go get a loan out and you can go travel the fucking world for 2 years and come back with actual real life practical knowledge and lessons." I'd have been like, "Yeah, give me the fucking money. I'm gonna
right?
go." Right? But they don't give you that opportunity when you're young. I
No,
think one of the good things
no.
about social media, and I will say this, is it's making it a lot easier for people to have alternative life, right? Like van,
Yes.
traveling and like just being able to see more of the world and explore it differently is more at our fingertips now because we could see other people doing it and we can learn how to do it. And I think to some
Yeah.
degree, that's a really great thing about social media. But I will say, like you mentioned, you didn't really answer my question, so I'm curious, like what
So one of my favorite things about TikTok, which I think has helped like I know it sounds I feel like it sounds dumb to say, but like TikTok really does inspire that's not dumb. It inspires me in a way where I'm like, like you said, like you can make a career out of TikTok. Like I like follow like yoga girls, like girls that like not even that they're like yoga teachers, they're just girls that do yoga in their cute little apartment. They're really good at it. And like I know they make money off of just posting those TikToks. And then like from, those videos come other things and like brands reach out to them and that whole thing. And seeing that stuff like it does inspire me where I'm like because I know I've told you like I'm interested in like maybe like teaching yoga or going that realm that's like completely different from what I've been doing for the past 10 years. But like in my head, I'm like, I can't be a yoga teacher because like I don't have that personality or I what I'll be making minimum wage for like 5 years. I'm like 35. Like I need to like be making real money. But like TikTok has made it seem like more at my fingertips, like it's
Yeah, more
possible and
accessible.
like
Yeah.
it's more accessible. Yeah. So to answer your question, I was thinking last night I was getting all so Jake's in Mexico City right now for work. So I've been
Cool.
by myself for like a week. So, I'm just starting to spiral. But I was like laying in bed and I was like, what are my goals? Like I literally was thinking, I was like, what are my goals right now? Like what am I trying to do? And I was like, I don't know. Because like I feel like for the past like 10 years of my life, it was either get really skinny or get really hot or meet a guy or make a lot of money at work or get this role at this company or work at Nike, like certain things like that, which like now that kind of like died off or like I've kind of almost hit those goals where I'm like, okay, this is good, like whatever, I tried. So last night I was like, what are my goals? Like what am I like I'm just going in the motions of life, which like 5 years ago, I would recognize that I'm just doing that. Like I get up, I work out, I go to work, I come home, do it all over again. And that would like depress me. Like I would be like, what am I doing with my life? Like I'm just wasting it. And now I'm doing the motions of life and it's kind of like Groundhog's Day, but I'm like happy about it because I
A lot of that's
it's
perspective,
fine.
though,
Like
because like
yeah,
25-year-old Ashley could have felt the same way. But like, I don't think you had enough life experience to have those sort of
yeah,
grounding feelings in a routine. Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. The other thing I was going to say is you're going to be super proud of me. I've been doing yoga lately. Like
You have?
I have, yeah. You'd be super proud of me. I have a very good friend of mine who owns a yoga practice. She's a teacher, and basically we've come to a like equitable agreement where I'm going to shoot content for her and photographs and videos and stuff for her to post on social media, and I get one-on-one yoga lessons, which is great.
Oh, that I love that.
Yeah, it's great for me because I've done it 3 or 4 times now. Fuck me, do I fucking sweat doing yoga? It's crazy. And
Dude,
I make noises
crazy.
and I grunt and it's just a wholly uncomfortable experience. But in a lot of ways, it's been really fucking great for me. I find the like first 5 minutes of like quiet, calm meditation sort of intro to the practice to be very grounding and quieting to like my mind. And the whole
Yeah.
practice, I'm challenging myself like crazy because most of my life I've been active, right? Like I'll go to the gym, I'll work out, I'll run, but not like any conscious sort of amount of time spent on
Right.
flexibility. I am so fucking inflexible. It's crazy. But it's like kind of rewarding being able to do this kind of stuff that I'd never done before. Um, so it's been a lot of fun, and I knew you'd appreciate that. But what I wanted to say to you is like you've mentioned for like I think this is the second time now in like the last year or two that you want to do more with this, and I think it's easy when you have a 9 to 5 to have a hard time doing that, right?
Yeah.
You look at I've got all this time in the day, and
Yeah.
then I just want to cook dinner, watch a movie, and go to bed. But you need to
Yeah.
spend a hour a day, 30-40 minutes a day, just filming yourself doing something on TikTok and talking about it. Like just voice over like what you're doing and make a little bit of content about the fact that this is the 30 minutes a day that I get to do this and like whatever you want to talk about, but like just fucking do it because it's something that you're so clearly very passionate about and so clearly very, tied to from like a mental perspective. Like it's something you love. There's nothing stopping you from doing more of it than, you spending and carving out that time to do it.
Yeah. No, last weekend because it was finally warm here because it's been like rainy and nasty, and I was taking videos of myself doing
Like 60 degrees. You're like, good
yoga, and I know, I know, literally. And I was taking videos of myself, and I was like, editing them or like making them shorter and stuff. And I was like going to go post them on TikTok, and I was like, should I? And I was like, should I post this and put some like, you know, cheesy like inspirational shit over the video, or should I like do my usual rant over that type of like trying to
yeah.
like combine like what I am comfortable doing versus like something new, but like kind of like going into a different. because then in my head, I'm like, all those people that follow me on TikTok, they follow me for my rants. Like they follow me for my political views. They don't follow me because I'm hot, because we know I do not look hot when I'm on there. They don't follow me. But then I'm like, um,
And they follow you
you
because
know,
you are authentically yourself. They follow you
yeah,
because you are who you are and you don't make any sort of qualms about it, right? So
yeah, yeah,
when you question yourself, well, like they follow me because of this, if they appreciate you for one thing, they're going to appreciate you for trying to be someone
yeah,
else that you're not currently. So just fucking do it.
yeah,
I know the
yeah,
thing I struggle with so much with from a social media perspective is it's hard for me to want to create content of me doing my job, right? Like I
do,
don't want to film a video of me taking photos. It drives me fucking crazy. It's like, oh, this is so disingenuous. Let me fucking prop my
because
phone on a tripod and film
I
myself.
know,
Like, dude, that's so lame. But I have to do it. And I struggle with it for sure. And I want to do more of it because I'm starting to reap the benefits of it. Like it's slowly starting to grow because I'm posting these fucking videos. But I'm doing it because I have to. You should do it because you want to. You're just standing in your own way
yeah.
from it.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's true. And I started doing also I feel like a difference between now me wanting to like do yoga stuff versus back then. I know back then I wanted to do it because I was like, all those yoga girls are so hot. People follow hot girls and like I want a big following and ball. And now I'm like, I don't necessarily do yoga or even work out to be hot or lose weight or whatever. Like I'm doing it because like you're saying, like you mentally, it's like nice. It's like a challenge in like a different way, and you're not doing it. I mean, men particularly. Oh no, I'm sure you used to work out to like look buff and like lose weight and like be
No,
hot or whatever.
no,
Um,
truly no.
and
I only work out seriously so I don't die. Like the only reason why I do
well,
anything in the
good.
gym, that's I just don't want to die. Like I don't want to be like 45 and dropping of a heart attack. Like that's just like that would suck. Like I look at it like holy shit, I'm 37. Let's say I've got 40 years. Like so I've got double my life left. The last 10 of those are probably not going to be highly productive years. So I look at it like
Yeah,
I've got like maybe 10 solid, really fucking productive years where my body is fully cooperating and I've got no issues. Until then, like, oh, I'm going to have shoulder surgery and then knee surgery or whatever. So everything I do now is just strictly preventative. Like, I just don't want to fucking drop. It's true though. True.
isn't that scary to think of? Like, did you ever see that viral TikTok? I don't know who it is. It's like probably a podcast guy, but he was talking about how I mean, you see your parents all the time because like you are with like your location wise close to them, but like people that don't live close to their parents are like, think you see your parents like for Christmas and their birthday, let's say twice a year. And let's say your parent has 10 more years to live. So you're going to see them twice a year for 10 more years. So you only have 20 more time to see your parents. I'm like, wow, that's the most depressing thing I've ever heard because I like live like 8 hours from my mom, but I only see her like once a year, which like I can't even start to think of anything like that. But like even when we think of like Jake being older than me, like I always think like when I'm like eating something shitty, I'm like, you can't eat this because you're older and you're a guy and like who knows what will happen. Like, and I can't have you drop dead on me. And I'm like, and then I like gotta catch myself. I'm like, Ashley, you're not like, you can't be eating a bunch of shit either because you could drop dead also. But it's like
Yeah.
when you get older, you start to like do these certain things that are like, I don't know. I feel like we just stop not caring about what we look like, but like that is not at the forefront of like everything. And I feel like back then that was like the main thing for me was just
Yeah. I
appearance.
get it. No, we talked about this when we first met too, because like, you're an attractive girl and you were single and you're like, I'm going to be a baddie on the internet and I'm going to want, but like I get it. And I think when you have that sort of comfortability and understanding that like your personal life is fully intact and like it's consistent and it's safe and it's not going anywhere, the
Yes,
reasons behind going to the gym and the reasons behind eating healthy are no longer about being a baddie, which I mean, hey, you're engaged, you could still be a fucking baddie, but at the end of the day, it's like, well, I just want to have that strength and that beauty for myself. It's not for anyone else other than me, which I think is also
totally.
great. Would be great if at 25 you could have been like, I want to be a baddie just for me, not for like the fucking Instagram
Yeah.
DMs. You know what I mean? That'd be great.
Yeah.
Um,
I know.
you touched upon something with the like amount of times you see people per year. I think about that a lot. My parents are a little bit older. My dad just turned 76 2 days ago. 10 years ago, he had 6 bypass heart surgery. So like quite possibly the biggest definition of just glad he's still here, right? And I know he's going to listen to this, so fuck you, Dad. Go eat a salad or something. But I think about that a lot because it's so easy in your everyday life to be doing a million things and you get a call from your parent. You'll be like, oh, I don't really want to take this call right now. Or, oh, I know it's going to be 15 minutes. But then you realize that at some point, that phone is not going to ring
I,
anymore. And you're going to
I
be like,
know.
fucking, hey, I really, really wish I'd spent that 15 minutes when I thought I was too busy to have that conversation, right?
I
And
know.
it's so hard to be like conscious of potential negatives in the future. But if you can, I think that's another thing that's happened with me as I've gotten older. I've become extremely conscious about the time that I have with people, and I'm more appreciative of it, and I'm more
Yeah.
cognizant of the fact that this is not all guaranteed. I mean, fuck, I could get cancer tomorrow, right? This could be the last
Yeah.
time. Who the fuck knows? My building
Yeah.
could collapse. My could get hit by a
Yeah.
bus. You never know. And I think that sort of realization only happens when you get a little bit older because things have already started getting taken away from
So,
you.
yeah. Yeah. And I think like COVID really, like in 2019, so right before COVID for Thanksgiving, Jake and I went to New Orleans. And so my sister spent Thanksgiving with just my mom. And then I remember feeling, I'm like, oh, I feel bad. Like they're having Thanksgiving without me. And now I'm like, it's okay. Like there's next year. And then 2020 happened. And I'm like, oh, like I can't see her. I'm like, and and then 2021 happened. I'm like, okay, I can kind of see her. And I'm like, wow, like we not, I mean, we know life's not guaranteed and we know tomorrow's never promised and yada, yada, yada. But like, it's really true. Like those cliches of like, I could be,
Yeah. They're
you're,
cliches for a reason. Like you said,
yeah. And
it's their truth.
yeah. And it's like, it's just, I think, yeah, COVID just put stuff into perspective. Like, just, we don't know like if you're going to get fired from your job. So like do what you love. Like do make your hobby. That's the other thing though about like hobbies is like I think I've said this to you before like about the yoga thing is like I don't want to make the one thing that I do love doing my income, because I feel like that as soon as it starts to be like your job, I'm like, am I going to start to feel that way how I feel about my actual job now? And then I'm going to have like no hobby,
Yeah.
which you probably know because you're with photography, like that started off as a hobby and your interest. And now you're like, well, I want to make money, which,
Yeah. So I've learned a very valuable lesson in the last 3 years, having almost gone broke and having come
yeah,
out of it. And what that lesson is don't be too proud to do more than one thing.
yeah,
When I was smart and not stubborn or just irrationally confident in my abilities, when I lost my job in 2020, I would have immediately gone and got another job. I would
yeah,
have saved myself a ton of financial headaches and a ton of financial repercussions that I experienced, the year after, had I just done that. But it took me, having to grow mentally and like understanding that I don't need to be too proud to make a living, right? So
yeah,
I've now created my financial life centered around multiple funnels of income. So I don't
yeah,
need to make $250,000 taking photos, but I can make a good amount taking photos and I can make a good amount with this podcast and I can make a good amount. I started a digital marketing company and I can make a good amount doing social media content creation for other people. So now I've got a bunch of different ways that I can make money and I no longer need to be stressed about one of them.
with, yeah,
So
you're right.
I could have fixed that a long time ago, but I didn't because I was too proud. I needed to be $1 million photographer. When I realize now, in hindsight, I can be able to build multiple areas where I can make money from, and it doesn't have to be all of the pressure in one place. Because if you ever fail doing one of those things, you're fucked. Which I was for a bit
Yeah,
because I was just blowing
totally.
through my savings like it was fucking Mardi Gras. I was just throwing beads everywhere, except beads were dollar bills, and I was fucking going broke. And I learned a great
Yeah,
lesson. And I mean, I've already in February 11th of 2023, I've already made more money this year than I did all of last year and all of 2021 combined. Think about that. That's
good.
fucking
That,
crazy. So I've made more money in 40 fucking days than I have in 2 full years. And that's just because I got unstubborn and I realized that I
Yeah.
could build myself a way to earn a living that wasn't one fucking way. But like, I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe I think you need to fail in a bunch of different ways before you can learn that sort of experience. So like for me, when
No.
you say that, I think, Ashley, you've got a 9 to 5, you're very buttoned up on that, you're good monetarily. Do the thing on the side, and it doesn't matter how much money you make doing it. It's just
Yeah.
something that you love, but you can also benefit from it as well.
Yeah. No, that you're right. And that's like the same thing where like I feel like in your 9 to 5s, everyone's kind of like scared to take PTO or vacation days because you're like, but I'm like I genuinely like I'm like I feel bad leaving my coworkers to do like my work for a week and then I'm like, well,
That's
that's
crazy.
silly because they would fire me in a second and like,
Yeah.
whatever. But and it that is a good that's why I think I do like TikTok now because like I'm like I make the content just because I want to and I feel like it and like I just happen to like, you know, get a few cents here or there. I was like and I can just continue to do that a little bit, but like and I've definitely actually no, that's a good you're right though. I remember you first telling me when you were like asking me about that clothing brand that you were trying to do and you were at blah 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 and I was like
Total
that John is such a good yeah, a good example of like doing multiple things and not putting all your what eggs in one basket, which is like definitely what I'm doing right now. But that's you're right because then if one
also,
falls through, then you have five others. And
yeah. And it's also like I just said, like I started a clothing company. I sold like 3 fucking t-shirts. But like I did it. It was cool. Like I
yeah,
tried. I failed. Like
yeah,
I didn't do a good job, but I failed and I did it. I learned a lot. That's cool. Like you don't have to fucking succeed at everything you do. You don't have
yeah,
that's like the fallacy of social media to some degree too. We don't need to fucking win at everything. That's irrational.
yeah,
That's not how life works. You're gonna fail a lot. I failed a fucking shit ton in my life. Holy shit. All the fucking failures I could list. We'd be here for 2 more hours. But at the end of the day, you learn. You learn from your experiences. I learn on a daily basis every time I take an L. It's like the big fucking thing on the internet. Oh, you lost, you failed, but get the fuck out of here. I've learned more from my experiences in failure than I will ever in any success that I've ever had in my life. Period.
yeah, yeah. Everything that like every job you got fired from, every person that broke your heart, like if that didn't happen, I mean, I hate sounding so cliche and lame. I'm like, ooh, but no, but that is true. Like every negative thing. Also, I got this book. Oh, it's in my purse. I wanted to show it to you. It's called, I got it from TikTok because I saw this girl, she writes poems. And it was on Amazon. It's called The Honeymoon Healing or The Healing Honeymoon, something like that. It's a poetry book, but it's all about like you know, it's not like that person broke your heart. It's that person broke your heart so you can learn how to like put your heart back together type of shit. Like you
Yeah.
failed so you can also like failing, I think is it's kind of nice because you're like, well, I tried and I failed. Next thing I'm gonna like let's move on. Like you don't have to like harp on it and like for me, I'll never know if I could be a good yoga person because I haven't tried it yet. Like but like once I
You
do
will.
try and like
Well,
yeah, but you don't, I mean, yeah, it's not being stubborn and like not being prideful and just like trying, really.
yeah. That is a great point because, like, from a pride perspective, I've let pride impact my life in so many negative ways. And had
Right.
I think you need to learn through failure. I think you need to learn through not succeeding that allows yourself to be a little bit more humble into like who you are. For a long time, I was incredibly
Totally.
irrational about my skills, my abilities, me as a human being. And I think I've humbled myself through failure, which has been fucking great for me because I have for the last few years become so completely and utterly comfortable in my own skin that I don't have to give a flying fuck about what anybody else thinks of me. whether it's a work person, whether it's a relationship person, if it's not meant for me, it's not going to be for me. But I know
Yeah.
through all the strife that I've experienced in life that the things that are meant for me are going to find me. The things that I'm meant to have are going to be mine because I kind of just believe that through all of the ups and downs in life, inevitably you end up in the position, in the place with the people that you're supposed to be with.
Yeah, totally. It's true.
Yeah, I know. It's because I've got a huge fucking brain. You could see this head is huge. It's filled with all this knowledge.
We've grown
It's funny, but
so much. I wish we should like, no, I don't know even how we could find our first conversations, but I feel like when we first met, we were like, what, like, we're just grown-ups now.
yeah, I mean that's what happens over like 8 years, kid. You grow up, you grow. I mean it's the person that I become is great. Like I'm very happy and very content. And for a lot of years, I really wasn't. I was just like putting on a facade and I was pretending and I was wholly unhappy, but I was numbing myself to the fact that I was. And now I'm acutely aware of everything. I'm acutely aware of when I'm
Yeah.
happy. I'm acutely aware of when I'm sad. I like check in with myself regularly and I've built a sustainable career and a sustainable life for me. Might not work for someone
Yeah.
else, might not work for you, but it works for me. And that makes me happy. And like I'm not threatened by other people's success. I'm not threatened by other people's things that they have. I'm not threatened because I know who I am. And for a long time,
Yeah.
I was threatened by everybody. And I lived a certain way and I acted a certain way because of that. But as you get older, that goes away.
Yeah. No. And I can tell with you right now that you are actually content. I feel like you would tell me, like, I'm happy, I'm making a bunch of money, I'm blah, 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 blah. But like
Money will
also
never make me
when
happy, to be
no,
fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah,
It just makes
no, I
everything
know.
easier, truly.
Easier.
That's all it does. It just buys convenience. That's all it does. Like I don't have to worry
Yeah.
about like fucking shit because I've got some money now. Like for the
Yeah.
better part of the last 2 years, I was conscious about it all the time. But like now,
Yeah.
all it does is buy convenience. I don't need more shit. Look at all the fucking stuff I have. I have too
Yeah.
much stuff. I don't need more stuff. I need more
Yeah.
experience. I need more time with my family and friends. I don't need shit. And I think,
Yeah.
that again, it comes with age. It comes with time.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah.
You're right.
What are you going to be doing with yourself for the rest of this year? Tell me what 2023 has to hold for you. Are you getting married this year? Like what's like the plan? What's up with you for the rest of
Um, yeah, we're July 7th is what the day we're planning on, but we're just doing like a courthouse thing.
it? What did I
So
say?
actually,
What did I say to you?
no, um,
What did I
I
say
feel
to
like
you
this,
when you sent me the picture message of your ring
did
finger?
you say that?
I basically was like, if you don't invite me to your wedding, we are not friends anymore.
Oh, no, let me tell you about. Okay, so I was Google. Okay, we got engaged. I'm like, okay, like, what's going on? Like, what are we doing? I started Googling just photographers or Google. I got overwhelmed within like 5 minutes, and I'm like, and we've been having these conversations back and forth since we got engaged, but it's really hard for me to like justify the cost of how much weddings are. And this, I feel like this goes to say, like, I still haven't posted that we got engaged on Facebook or Instagram or anything because, like, it, it's like,
It was 6 months
I
ago.
hate that.
I love
I
that.
know.
I genuinely love that for you. I do.
And I just, and like, we have pit, like, I just don't, every time I go to like want to post it or something, I'm like, why am I doing this? Because of what though? Like,
Yeah.
so
Well,
people can like the picture?
yeah, it's like, oh, look at
Yeah.
me. Look at fucking
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm like, I just, I don't know. I just like don't want to do any of that. But that goes in the same thing as like, why do people have huge weddings? Why do people spend
I
six
like
figures on huge weddings?
I like big weddings. I like being invited to big weddings. I like being part of big weddings. I will never have a big wedding. I
It's
will
just
get
a,
married at a
it's,
courthouse and I will throw a party in a field and I will invite people
yeah.
that I like. I'm just
Yeah. There's,
listen, that's not to say that if I meet a person who is fucking
wh-
godly rich, babe, whatever you want, you can have it. If you're paying for it. If I'm paying for it, we're gonna go to the courthouse. We're gonna spend
no.
$264. We're gonna get married with the justice of the peace. And we're gonna call it a fucking day.
Yeah. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
Um,
Well, come to New York and at least like honeymoon it before you go to Europe or something, and you know,
I know. It would be nice if you could take our engagement photos.
fly me out,
We
put
haven't
me up
we
somewhere,
haven't
and I
taken
won't
those.
charge you anything. Right there.
Um,
It's a good trade.
have you done couples or like anything like that, or do you just
No,
no,
I just
just
mostly
hot
take
girls?
naked people. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. No, it's funny. It's like, I frequently take photos of women. That's like what you get paid to do mostly, which is okay. Like I don't care. Like I just don't shoot weddings. It's not something I've ever been
Yeah.
conscious of doing. Like I know it's not in my wheelhouse. Like
Yeah.
when I look at the career I've built for myself, it's in fashion and it's in music because those are the two things that I like. And
Yeah.
I like capturing people and maybe not relationships and or
Yeah.
big things. There's a fucking ton of
Yeah.
pressure shooting a wedding. I've shot one engagement. It was great. I had a great time. I got some really lovely photos. If it's for a friend or a family person, absolutely, whatever, no problem. I just not gonna like outwardly seek that work. It's not in my
Yeah.
wheelhouse.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I never thought about that, but you're kind of right. There's not photographers take photos of women. It's not like they take photos of men.
Shooting, I like shooting guys. I mean, I've some of my favorite photos I've ever taken are a couple of different guys, and I think that will change with time. Like to me, the moment is where the light happens and like where something is transpiring, and whether that's a man, a woman, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. Like one of my favorite photos, I shot this guy at a casting director's shoot in like a industrial building, and the fucking light coming through the window was just
Yeah.
absolutely perfect. And I got some of my most favorite photos of all time. Last week I was shooting two half naked women. Like it just, I don't know. It's not, it's so funny. Like when, 3, 4 years ago before I became a photographer, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm shooting all these naked women. It's so cool. It's like the most anticlimactic, unenjoyable experience because there's a lot of pressure to create what I would consider like beautiful imagery versus like sexualized something. Like I don't know how to articulate it, but if you get what I'm saying, like I want to create an intimate portrait and photo regardless of what they're wearing or not wearing. And
Right.
it's hard in some instances to like move beyond the fact that they're not wearing anything for those things to come through. And like for me, I've started hitting a stride with my work irregardless of what I'm shooting that feels like it's me. It feels like an image that I created, and I've got an editing flow now that like is very like concise and compact, and just like when I'm done producing the images, I know it's mine. Like it feels like me.
Yeah.
It's like I'm
Yeah.
conveying the thing that I want to convey, which makes me very, very happy.
Yeah. Some of your best photos though are like the ones that you take like just on the street of like
Yeah.
Manhattan or whatever. Like those ones
Thank you.
are
I
those are
love doing
nice.
street photography. It's my favorite thing that I do. I don't get a chance to
It's
do it
good.
enough. I love it. Like, I mean, again, that's like, I've recently been inspired to shoot a lot of Polaroids lately. And again,
Yeah.
one of like this mentor that I have, who's, this huge inspiration to me from a photography perspective. This guy was that gave me a really great creative idea, and I'm gonna just like be pushing more into that from like a Polaroid perspective. But I'm just comfortable. Like I'm very content. I'm very
Hmm.
happy. I'm very comfortable in what I'm producing, what I'm creating, and I don't think I was here even 6 months ago. But I'm here now and it feels good. And like I don't have to try to pretend to do anything or be anything that I'm not. And it's
Yeah.
pretty wonderful.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad.
I'm glad too. And I know I joke with you a lot because you're a very shitty communicator at times, but I do love you a great deal. You're one of my good friends. I'm extremely happy that your life has fallen into place in such a beautiful way. Obviously, you're part of my family, and I'm just appreciative that you decided to come and do this again with me. And thank you so much for your time today.
I love you too. Thank you. We're best friends.
BFFE. Thank you so much, Ashley. Take care.
Thanks, John.